Most of us have been eating eggs our whole lives, scrambled, fried, boiled. They're quick, tasty, and packed with protein. But what if I told you that a few small mistakes in how you cook or eat your eggs could be quietly hurting your heart and making your joints ache more than they should? You're not alone. Many older adults make these same mistakes every day without realizing it. In this video, we're breaking down the top 3 egg habits that could be working against your health and what to do instead. Let's start with the first habit that might be silently working against your health: overcooking your eggs. Now, you might be thinking, how bad can that really be? After all, we've been cooking eggs for decades, and it's easy to assume there's no wrong way to do it. But here's something many folks don't realize. How you cook your eggs matters more than you think. Eggs are little nutrition bombs full of protein, healthy fats, and vitamins like B12 and D. These nutrients support everything from brain function to bone strength. And as we get older, our bodies need these nutrients even more to stay energized, mobile, and mentally sharp. But here's the catch. When eggs are overcooked, especially at high heat, those precious nutrients can start to break down. You've probably seen that greenish-gray ring around the yolk of a hard-boiled egg before. That's a sign the egg's been cooked too long or at too high a temperature. While it's still safe to eat, something important happens inside. The cholesterol in the yolk can become oxidized when exposed to high heat, which may contribute to inflammation and heart issues over time. Now, don't worry. You don't need to toss your eggs out altogether. In fact, the solution is simple. Just turn the heat down a bit. Overcooking eggs can reduce important nutrients like vitamin B12, which supports nerve function, and vitamin D, which helps keep your bones strong. These nutrients are especially important as we age. Cooking eggs more gently can help preserve their benefits. And that brings us to a woman named Margaret from Ohio. At 72, Margaret considered herself a fairly healthy eater. She loved having eggs for breakfast, fried in a pan until they were crispy on the bottom, with a piece of toast and a strong cup of coffee. Over time, though, she noticed her knees were stiffer in the mornings, and she was feeling more run down throughout the day. After talking to her doctor and a local nutritionist, she decided to try something different. She switched to soft-boiled eggs, cooking them gently for about 6 minutes. No more crispy edges, just a warm, golden yolk and a soft white. Within a few weeks, Margaret noticed something. Her joints felt looser. She had more pep in her step during her morning walks. And she didn't feel that afternoon energy crash as much anymore. Now, of course, every person is different, but stories like Margaret's aren't uncommon. Small changes in how we prepare our food, especially staples like eggs, can have a big impact on how we feel day to day. So what's the best way to cook your eggs if you want to keep those nutrients intact? Here are a few easy ideas to try. Soft-boiled eggs. Bring water to a gentle boil, lower your eggs in, and cook for 6 to 7 minutes. The whites should be set, and the yolk should stay a bit runny, packed with goodness. Poached eggs. These are cooked gently in simmering water without any oil or high heat. Just crack an egg into a cup, slip it into hot water, and wait 3 to 4 minutes. Sprinkle with a little salt and pepper, and you're done. Low-heat scrambled eggs. If you love scrambled eggs, cook them low and slow. Use a nonstick pan and stir constantly over medium-low heat until they're soft and creamy. Add a small pat of butter or a splash of milk if you like them richer. If you're wondering what to eat alongside your perfectly cooked eggs, here's a heart-healthy breakfast idea that's great for older adults. 2 soft-boiled eggs, 1 slice of whole-grain toast, lightly buttered, a side of sautéed spinach and cherry tomatoes with a drizzle of olive oil, and a cup of green tea or black coffee. Hold the sugar. This meal gives you a solid mix of protein, fiber, healthy fats, and antioxidants, all without overwhelming your digestive system first thing in the morning. And remember, you don't have to give up your favorite meals. It's not about cutting things out. It's about cooking a little smarter. Lowering the heat, watching the time, and using gentle methods can go a long way in keeping your eggs and your body in top shape. Coming up next, we're going to look at another common mistake people make with eggs. And this one involves something you probably always eat with them. Stick around because you might be surprised by what it is. Now, while we're still in the kitchen, let's talk about something else that often sneaks onto our breakfast plates: processed meats. We're talking about bacon, sausage links, and deli ham. Those salty, sizzling sides that many of us have paired with eggs since we were kids. They taste great, no doubt about that. But over time, that classic combo might be doing more harm than good. For many folks, eggs and bacon go hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly. It's quick, comforting, and it just feels like a real breakfast. But here's something worth thinking about. While eggs on their own can be very healthy, what you eat with them can change the whole story. Let's take a closer look at processed meats like bacon and sausage. These foods are often loaded with saturated fats, salt, and preservatives, especially nitrates. While they might add a tasty crunch to your plate, they can quietly raise your blood pressure, increase inflammation in the body, and make joint pain worse, particularly if you're already dealing with arthritis or other age-related issues. Processed meats contain preservatives that can trigger inflammation. This doesn't just affect your heart, it can make sore joints even worse. Many older adults don't realize their morning bacon could be part of why they're feeling stiff or achy. And that brings us to someone named John from Texas. John grew up on hearty Southern breakfasts. Every morning he had 2 eggs fried in butter, a few strips of bacon, and toast slathered with jam. It was a routine he looked forward to, and one he never thought twice about. But over time, things started changing. His blood pressure crept up. He noticed his knees were aching more, and his hands felt swollen by lunchtime. He figured it was just getting older. Then after a visit to his doctor, John got a wake-up call. His cholesterol was high, and his joints were showing signs of chronic inflammation. He didn't want to give up eggs, and he didn't have to. But his doctor recommended cutting back on the processed meats. So John tried something different. Instead of bacon, he added half an avocado to his breakfast. Creamy, filling, and full of heart-healthy fats. He grilled some cherry tomatoes in olive oil and added a sprinkle of salt and pepper. The eggs stayed on the plate, but now they were paired with fresh, colorful sides. At first, he missed the sizzle and crunch, but after a couple of weeks, something surprising happened. His blood pressure dropped, his joints felt less stiff, and he even noticed he wasn't getting that heavy, bloated feeling after breakfast anymore. Now John still treats himself to bacon once in a while, maybe on a Sunday morning or a special occasion. But most days he sticks with his new routine. He says it makes him feel lighter and sharper, like he's fueling his body instead of just filling it up. So what can you try instead of bacon or sausage? Here are a few tasty, healthy swaps that don't sacrifice flavor. Avocado, creamy, rich in healthy fats, and great with eggs. Add a pinch of salt, a squeeze of lemon, or even a dash of hot sauce. Grilled or roasted vegetables, bell peppers, zucchini, tomatoes, and mushrooms all pair beautifully with eggs. Just toss them in a pan with olive oil and a little garlic. Turkey bacon or chicken sausage. These options are lower in saturated fat than pork and often contain fewer additives. Look for brands with minimal ingredients. Beans or lentils. A small scoop of black beans or lentils adds protein and fiber. Think of it like a Southwestern-style breakfast. Whole grains. Instead of white toast, try whole grain bread or a side of oatmeal. It'll keep you full longer and support steady energy. Remember, it's not about giving up the foods you love. It's about finding balance. Enjoying eggs? Great. Just try to pair them with foods that help your body instead of slowing it down. If you've been feeling more tired lately or waking up with stiff joints, It might not just be aging. It could be your breakfast. Swapping out processed meats, even a few times a week, could make a world of difference, and you don't have to do it alone. Try it once, maybe on a weekend, when you have more time. Cook your eggs gently, slice up a fresh avocado, add a handful of vegetables, and see how you feel afterward. You might be surprised by how much lighter, calmer, and more energized your body feels. Coming up, we'll take a closer look at another habit that could be draining the nutrition from your eggs, and this one might be hiding in your fridge right now. Stay tuned. Let's move on to another common habit that might seem healthy, but could actually be holding you back. It's one that many older adults have picked up over the years, especially with all the headlines about cholesterol and heart disease, tossing out the egg yolk and sticking only with the whites. Now, if that sounds familiar, you're not alone. For decades, we were told that egg yolks were bad for the heart, too much cholesterol, too much fat. And so, millions of people started ordering their omelets, egg whites only, and skipping the yolks at home. But here's the thing. New research and decades of experience are showing us that the yolk might actually be the best part, especially as we age. The egg yolk isn't the enemy. In fact, it's where most of the good stuff is hiding. Egg yolks are full of important vitamins like A, D, E, and K, the kind that help support your bones, your brain, and even your immune system. They also contain omega-3 fats, which are good for your heart and help reduce inflammation, something that becomes especially important as we get older and start feeling more aches and pains. Many seniors think they're making a healthy choice by skipping the yolk, but in reality, that yolk contains nutrients that are vital for healthy aging. Unless your doctor specifically says otherwise, eating whole eggs, yolk and all, in moderation is usually the better choice. That brings us to Linda, a 70-year-old retiree from sunny Florida. For years, Linda avoided egg yolks like the plague. She'd make her morning scramble using just the whites and toss the golden centers in the trash. She was trying to keep her heart healthy and thought she was doing the right thing. But over time, Linda started feeling more tired during the day. She had trouble concentrating. And at her annual checkup, her doctor noticed that her bone density wasn't where it should be. She was shocked. She exercised regularly and thought her diet was clean and healthy. Then her doctor asked her a simple question. "Are you eating the whole egg?" Linda hesitated and realized she hadn't had an egg yolk in over 5 years. With her doctor's guidance, she began slowly adding whole eggs back into her meals, maybe one every other day. She scrambled them with some spinach and mushrooms or made a soft-boiled egg to go with her whole grain toast. And within just a few months, she noticed a real difference. Her energy picked up. She was sleeping better, and she said her brain felt less foggy, like she could focus again. Of course, it wasn't just the eggs. Linda made other small changes too, like adding more leafy greens and drinking more water. But bringing the yolk back into her diet turned out to be one of the simplest changes with the biggest impact. So what does this mean for you? Well, unless your doctor has specifically told you to avoid egg yolks due to a health condition, and some people do have reasons to be cautious. Eating whole eggs in moderation is not only safe for most people, it's actually a smart move. Here are a few ideas to bring the whole egg back into your routine without overdoing it. Soft-boiled eggs. Boil them gently for about 6 to 7 minutes so the yolk stays creamy. Serve with whole grain toast and a side of fruit. Vegetable omelet. Use 1 whole egg and 1 or 2 extra egg whites. That way you keep the flavor and nutrients of the yolk, but still cut down on overall fat. Egg salad with avocado. Instead of heavy mayo, mash up some ripe avocado with chopped hard-boiled eggs. Season with lemon juice, pepper, and a pinch of salt. Breakfast bowl. Layer cooked quinoa or brown rice with sautéed spinach, a whole poached egg, and a spoonful of salsa. In general, aiming for 3 to 5 whole eggs a week is a good guideline for most older adults. They're easy to digest, packed with nutrition, and incredibly versatile. And again, unless your healthcare provider tells you otherwise, that golden yolk doesn't need to be feared. There's a lot of confusing information out there about food. What's good for you, what's bad, what to avoid. But sometimes we need to look past the old headlines and ask a simple question. How does this food actually make me feel? Eggs, when cooked gently and paired with healthy sides, can be one of the most powerful foods on your plate. Just make sure you're getting the full benefit. Don't leave the best part behind. So what have we learned? From Margaret's switch to gently cooked eggs, to John's move away from bacon, and Linda's return to egg yolks, each story reminds us that small changes can make a big difference. Cooking eggs gently, pairing them with the right foods, and embracing the whole egg can support your energy, heart, joints, and brain, all without giving up the foods you love. The key takeaway? Don't let old habits or outdated advice stand in the way of better health. You don't have to reinvent your diet. Just make smarter choices with what's already on your plate. So next time you crack an egg, think of it not just as breakfast, but as an opportunity, a chance to fuel your body the right way, one simple bite at a time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who could use a health boost. We've got plenty more simple tips and inspiring stories coming your way. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here on Wellness Nest Daily.